welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Pro League. It is CLG versus OpTic, and we're getting ready to jump onto the second map. It's going to be here on Train. Dazed is still with me, of course. And Dazed, your thoughts now going in Train for our second map?
This is very heavily OpTic favored, man. OpTic is a great Train team. All 5 of them play Train superbly well. They could op with 2, even 3 ops sometimes, you know, if they want. T side, they have a lot of skill to, you know, get openings out on the outer train yard. CT side, they know how to, you know, peek and punish the people that are trying to get too aggressive on T side. So they're a great train team, an absolute fantastic Train team. CLG, on the other hand, we've seen them play Train quite a few times. We see a double stack onto Ivy right now. Doesn't work out for them, but no harm done. They're able to get away safely. And we have not been impressed, Blue.
No, definitely
by CLG's
not.
Train. So,
and
very OpTic favored, but anything can happen in CSGO.
OpTic has been a story, I think, of recovery on Train, because at least on T sides, if you go back like a couple months, they still like Shazam on the roster one. They were actually pretty bad on T side. Like,
no, they got Mixwell now. Train is Mixwell's playground. CLG is triple pushing Ivy right now.
We are going to see Naf, though, holding the first one. Second player tries to follow through. Tarek trying to jump over, but all these triple shots are missing. Naf able to move in and clean it up, though. It takes him down, and Tarek's going to roll right in there. He's got a new gun to work with now, the USP. Trying to chase Hayes down a little bit, but not so far. But however, on that peak, shuts him down. Nicely done. And Tarek picking up a quick kill here. And we do see Ethan sneaking in 1, but that's about all they're going to find here. It's pretty clean for OpTic beyond that, as they just sit back, play it a little bit passively, and wait for CLG to play aggressively there. And off of that, they get a lot of those kills.
Yeah, and only 1 death, only 1 scout to worry about if they opt for that. That mid-round aggression, though, by CLG, very odd, right? They went towards Ivy, then they left Ivy, then they came back to Ivy, and CLG started pushing Ivy. So that round broke down really weird. OpTic opts to not have any type of SMGs. Full AKs. Gets the kill on E-Box by Mixwell, and I'm telling you, man, this is Mixwell's map.
He's going to go off right at the beginning of this one. We already see as well OpTic moving in outside of E-Box there, although good responses on the flashbangs here. We're actually seeing quite a few members of OpTic being held back. However, Rosh picking up 2 quick kills, and after the flashes expire, we'll see Hayes grab 1 more, but yeah, Tarek was able to move in there and pretty much clean things up. So another quick second round there. Only 1 loss along the way, and OpTic could go up 2. And now as we get into CLG's trash round.
Yeah, just a throwaway round here. Probably going to be easy win for OpTic. It's actually pretty easy to win these rounds on Train when they just have like USPs. When they have like 5-7s and stuff, though, it can be pretty difficult because there's a lot of angles where the CTs can, you know, shoot you in the back or get you, and sometimes like get up close ladder and things like that. Listen for rotations, 1-shot kills if you come down the ladder. But on rounds like this, it's usually pretty easy.
Yep, Mick started grabbing run. Rush is going to rush out the Ivy tunnel there, and there's nobody watching for it, so he's free to grab these kills, even jumping over 2. Picks up another one, bailed out of almost being traded by Naf, and it's all on Ethan now, so not the greatest of hopes for him here. Just going to post himself up below the exit to Z and hope someone comes wandering his way that he could capitalize on.
Yeah, and just Train is just a worrisome map for me for CLG. At the start of Overpass, I talked a little bit about how I think Overpass takes a lot of teamwork CT side-wise. You have to really rely on your teammates' help. Positioning-wise, you want a lot of good crossfires and things like that. And on Train, a lot of Train comes down to just like never being surprised, okay? You always want to have somebody ready at all moments if they come out team mid, if they come out Ivy and things like that. And we continually see CLG players just be like surprised and just not ready for certain things. That should be a lot of the time you think might be very obvious, right? And a guy just walking up and unexpectedly peeking someone on CLG and those players getting, you know, kills on the person peeking them. So I'm a little worried for CLG because of that.
Tarek is going to look for the opening kill here, too. He saw that smoke being tossed out, but unfortunately sprays out for far too long. So Bros is going to be able to catch that, find the trade within the smoke, taking him down and giving the early advantage to CLG, but that doesn't mean they're safe yet. OpTic moving in, Rush going right through the smoke, but he didn't realize Sabrosa still sitting inside of here. Who's going to be able to push back in and possibly punish that? Naf, though, does handle that, takes down Sabrosa, and Kus doesn't even know where he is. Rush is going to surprise him, knock him out of the server here. Hayes finding at least 1 more pickup against Rush, but Stanislaw, almost is able to get away with a pickup there, but it's traded onto him a lot more heavily. He's now down at 9 HP, and the CTs have a good lineup here. Cutler also working around the corner with the op 2, but Stanislaw, there you go. There's the pickup. traps he wanted earlier. Gets himself up on top, finds one. Mixwell saves his life on the second one by eliminating Ethan, and it's all on Cutler in the 1v3, trying to sneak up the Ivy tunnel here, but they've already got a player watching out for that entry point too. If he moves in from it, he'll be a dead man, so I think he makes the smarter choice here to fall back out of Ivy and just save the weapon.
Yeah, and you know, we talk about deaths and kills, right, that are like round-changing plays and round-winning plays. And Kusta dying at the back of 6 there. When he died, there was 0 hell presence. You only had players on Z, and you only had one player in the back lanes. And as soon as that happens and you're on T, you're favored. You're even favored if it's a 2-on-3, as long as you can get that bomb down safely, which they could in that scenario, right? If they're just Z and in the back lanes. So in a 3v3, it's extremely T-sided. And Kusta dying there at the back of 6 without getting a kill. And again, how did he die, Blue? He died because he didn't expect Rush to be there. After Rush pushed through that smoke, got killed without even really getting a bullet off. And that has been a common theme that we've seen from CLG.
Cutler, however, at the beginning of this round is actually going to grab a first kill, and Sabrosa too inside of the ladder room. Nobody from the T side able to cover that. Just waits for the push and is able to pick up the kill there. So all of a sudden, it's a 5-on-3. Sabrosa also being able to upgrade over towards an AK too, which is dangerous in its own regard. Now we have to see how well the rest of these CTs can hold, since OpTic is going to make a somewhat predictable switch over here towards the B hit, and they've already started to rotate some more of their players. And the Op is here on Cutler, sitting just at the entrance of Z. We've also got Hayes moved a little bit here too, but they'll use the smoke to try and get out of here without having to worry about that Op presence too much. However, there you have it. It's already being met with heavy resistance here. Ethan is actually almost caught. They're boosted up on top of each other, and somehow that was working, but then Hayes and Cutler absolutely decimate it. And we'll see CLG fighting their first start up on the board with that play.
Yeah, OpTic going for the style points, not necessarily the round win there. That was pretty cool. I doubt it was on purpose.
Definitely not.
But they made it almost work, as they're just like, I don't even know, man, a turret. They're just a turret.
If one of us goes down, the other will stand firm.
Yeah, so they lose that round 4-1. Big pickup by CLG there. Cutler doing work, man. They've actually gotten quite a few op picks between Cutler and Kusta that we've seen. A lot of time they actually do tend to make it 4v5, but sometimes they crumble after that. So Rosa just inside the train, though, gets a super easy frag on Rush. And now they know they're coming out of T mid, so Rosa gets another one, man. And he's showing up right now.
Also, importantly, too, already see CLG going up to the double op setup after just that one-round victory, so they're shutting this out completely here. So far, they've only taken down Sabrosa because of how aggressively pushed up it was. It was inevitable that he would go down, although Naf, trying to make a bit more of a contest about this, they brought it into a 2v3. Ethan's still sitting at the back of that bomb train. Stan spotted it. Can't take him down yet, but Naf chases him away. Gets him off of that bomb train, along with a well-timed Molotov there to knock him out, and all of a sudden, we're even again into a 2-on-2. And both the CTs are working with ops. Cutler has the option behind him here to trade out to an AK, but it's not even going to be needed. Walks right out. Nobody's watching for the ladder push, so he's going to grab that first kill essentially for free. And now Naf is trapped inside here. Baits out the op shot, but Kusta's still in a safe position. He's able to play inside of this tunnel here and wait for the rest of them to push back out. The flashbang from the other end of that one too. Naf's attention is still almost completely drawn over here. Now Naf has a decent amount of time still to work with this, but he's got to hunt down these kills pretty quickly. And both of CLG's members have gone behind cover for now as they wait for him to try and go for that plant.
Yeah, they think he has bomb right now, and that is why they repositioned like that. They thought he had bomb, and now they realize that he doesn't, so they're able to pinch on him from outside, one coming through Z, one coming from ladder. But Naf could definitely win this.
He's going to move out here too. Kusta still remaining out of his sights for now, but a quick flick on the repeak there. Does manage to find the execution. CLG play it slow, but for good reason, and off of that, they'll find their second round here, keeping it close against OpTic. Losing a lot of players. They saved the double op setup importantly here, but again, forcing a lot of those rebuys. But because of the victory they had, just off of what was essentially just like a half buy for a lot of their players, they're already sitting on a crap load of cash. Rebuys aren't going to be a problem right here. Yeah,
and Cutler, one thing I want to point out about that is he did a really good job of actually not scoping. Had he scoped there, I see this happen from offers all the time. You scope and you give away your position. Naf probably would have heard it, and he wouldn't have been able to get that kill on top of red because they would have been posted onto my ladder. So he waits until he sees them, then he scopes. That's a very disciplined play by him, and a good job by Cutler.
Yeah, so CLG getting right back into this now too, and still only playing with a single man in the B bomb site. So a lot of the defense is already posted up to try and counter out. If we see OpTic go through this is this default here now as they move out. Naf, a good attempt at a flick, but unfortunately his opponent drops down for the red train just in the nick of time to be able to avoid getting domed by that shot there. Cutler is going to be waiting over here in the short lane too. For now, it's hesitance from OpTic as they play it back and figure out how exactly they want to proceed with this too after Naf missed his opening shots.
Yeah, and nade-wise, one smoke on OpTic, a couple flashes, and a Molotov. CLG stacked with Molotovs. So utility-wise, CLG has everything they need to win this round. But one flash coming out ladder, kill onto Sub Rosa and hazed instantly. And now Cutler in a terrible position. This is tough.
Nobody checks it, though, when he pulls back, so Cutler is actually able to get that first one. However, he's losing his teammates one by one here. As we see Kusta moving back in from Z there. It's down to the 2 ops yet again here, but nobody, again, watching from Cutler's position, so he picks up another target. It's even now, 2-on-2. He tries to go for a pop flash at probably the worst possible time, though, as Mixwell was just pushing him when he was trying to line up the throw for it. So now it's all on Kusta in the 1 versus 2. He's going to move out. Nothing to spot initially here as they're just going for the plant. Still has a chance at this one if he can find that first target and isolate it, whether it be Mixwell or Naf.
Yeah, and we see that played by Cloud9 a lot. You group up the ladder, you throw one flash, you come out, and you time it so that as soon as you get off that smoke, the flash pops as Kusta and Cutler do a really good job in that 2v5, man. I mean, able to get 3 kills, almost able to salvage the round, but these entries are just too much, and the positional advantage by OpTic just ends up just constricting them, Blue, like a boa constrictor.
It's a good analogy.
Yeah.
Gotta get good at this.
Yeah, I can try and constricting them like a boa constrictor. Anyways, CLG on a pretty poor buy, actually. So what we thought was a good amount of bank is now dwindled into a pretty broken buy here. But they could still win. Maybe Cutler or Kusta, I'm not sure who's on the op there, can make it 4v5. It is Cutler. But OpTic, strong buy out of them. Op, Galil, 3 AKs, and they have a lot of nades to work with, so.
We will see Ethan here, too, just downgrading himself to the CZ. He's the weakest of the buys, but inevitability that at least one of these guys go down. So if we see him playing near teammates, which actually he's not, he's holding an aggressive angle, so hopefully just trying to catch the ramp push early on should we see OpTic go for it and be able to communicate that and hopefully line up Cutler into a better position for it too. But they are moving in now. The majority of their players in these box halls ready for the B hit. And they'll move in. Cutler, though, spots is coming. It's very predictable. And not only will we see Cutler grab the kill, but Ethan, too. He grabs one, immediately traded up by Tarek. And now, all of a sudden, it's been called off. They're working their way back over here towards the A site. The problem, though, is that Mixwell's been hit so very low at this point. But Tarek meets himself with another entry against Kusta here. And they'll start to move in and take control of this site. Mixwell is actually almost cut down when he tries to go for the cross there. Hayes finding one more. Rush trading out again. Now it's even. Another 2 versus 2 round that this will come down to for both teams. And Rush trying to sneak up, but slowly, the guys from CLG are trying to close the gap on this one. Sabrosa pushes out from the bomb train, grabs one more. Mixwell held back behind the E-box, and that gave him the position to shut down one of his last opponents. But now he's against Cutler here, and he's waiting over there in the Ivy tunnel. 20 seconds on the clock. He's got the shot. Cutler missed his, so now he's going to be able to roll, and he's actually going to head over to the B-bomb site instead, pushing all the way through. He'll have plenty of time to get behind the bomb train and get this on the floor, and Cutler is still playing back, so he's even going to have time to probably line up a post plant too.
Yeah, really well played by Mixwell, man. His knowledge of the angles on this map is like second to none. He knows it like the back of his hand. And he groups up right next to take the Z angle at that headshot angle. And once he doesn't see him there, wide peeks perfectly to push off that Ivy angle. Now he plants inner, gets great positional advantage. I don't care whether you have 1 HP or 100 HP. When you get the bomb down at inner and you have free reign to go wherever you want, you are very, very favored.
So with that, we do see the clutch come out from Mixwell there.
That peek was really, really good. That was a really good peek by him.
He almost gets the kill right there, too, as he ends up in the engagement from it. But OpTic still end up coming out on top of the round, and they force, as we were mentioning previously, CLG, they end up being broken because of that one. So they go right back down to another eco, and it's very unimpressive as far as what they bring. In fact, almost a perfect nade there. Mixwell moving right in. He actually is shut out by Cutler, but it's 2 additional kills have already rolled in for OpTic here, and yeah, it's a quick shutdown. Not going to last very long pushing out from Z. They'll lose Mixwell because he pushed out pretty quickly, but that's it. 7-2 for OpTic here, but that single full save from CLG does let them buy up immediately afterwards.
Yeah, and you know, when we're watching Mixwell there, we see that with really good players, Blue, you peek everything like it's a potential to have a kill, right? Everything is peaked, nothing is lazy. You're very like deliberate with your peaks. Every single angle, you expect someone to be there, you expect to get in a gun battle. And we see that from players like Mixwell. And that's why they're able to put up such heavy numbers a lot of the time. You see it from players like Shocks and a lot of good players. They never peek anything lazily. It's always ready. to take them back.
We actually see Sabrosa grabbing 2 quick kills again. He's been dominant so far over here on this site. But yep, there's Mixwell going in, and Naf too. Fortunately, they're not covering all the angles, and there's some weak spots open up that they're able to punish. Naf almost gets that kill, but I believe it's Kusta flying away. Naf doesn't matter though. He goes in as he gets a close-up shot. Hayes able to trade back outside of the tunnel there, picking up Naf. So it's again another. It's like the 4th or 5th one we've had, almost in a row, 2 versus 2 sequences that this has come down to. Hayes holding over here by the Ivy tunnel, and Kusta trying to wrap it around. He may actually get a perfect flank against Mixwell. Mixwell's not expecting that. And also, we do see, however, Hayes go for a reload, so Stan's able to punish, but he's only working with a UMP. He gets that smoke out into the open here, but now Kusta, he's going to jump on the bomb. Stan's got to push for this one, but it baits him out perfectly. And Kusta, all this comes down to now is the time, and I believe he's got enough of it. So CLG should be able to get their 3rd. We'll find out here in just a moment. It's going to be very close, but I believe, oh, he just gets it. And CLG do get that round.
Yeah, down to the millisecond there, Blue. We don't have the 10-second warning on our headsets, so we can't hear that.
It's like it's kind of quiet for us. So we have to,
yeah, no, I can't hear the 10-second warning. So every time there's a defuse like that, I'm like, I have no idea. I don't even know. I have no idea. The 10-second warning is everything to me, man.
I never get the 10-second warning. I have to go off the frequency of the beeps alone.
But when you play Counter-Strike, you get the 10-second warning. Is what I'm saying. Yeah. But anyways, OpTic not winning that round. A good round by Sabrosa again, man. Every time they've gone outside, he's been their sole like bright spot for CLG this half. He's consistently gotten 2 every single time. So Sabrosa doing his part.
We can see Ethan here too is going to hold the angle just behind the first train, waiting for OpTic to go for the push. We've actually rarely seen OpTic go for direct B hits. They've only done it once or twice, and it hasn't been met with the best of success. They've had to struggle through it a little bit here, but they're going to go for it once again, and Ethan waits with the SMG. Thankfully, a good flashbang prevents him from doing much, and when he tries to bail out, he gets into the smoke, but Rush spots it beforehand, punishes with an immediate headshot. And unfortunately for, well, Cutler in the back there, he's not able to do much since he loses his teammate. However, the first pickup from him, Tarek waiting. He does take a lot of damage, down to 11, but he picks up the kill on Sabrosa. Now the other 3, unfortunately, they're just stuck in the backside. They haven't made any progress at all getting closer to this one. Tarek continues to line up these great headshot angles. He's now taking out Kusta, and I think it's saving time here. Hayes and Cutler, unfortunately, just can't do anything else, so they've got to try to focus on making sure they make it out of this round with the guns, and even that maybe troubles them here. Hayes, he's spotted Stanislaw working around the corner. Oh, almost missed it. No! Hayes had the perfect angle, but Stan wins the duel. It's only Cutler with the op now. And he's going to be pushed from the backside in just a moment to Stan, who will take him out.
Yeah, and CLG's lack of ability to win more than one round in a row, they just can't really string anything together. I mean, they've just constantly been saving here, and it's really just crushing them, man. It's pretty devastating to be on that end of it, where you could just never win like 2 rounds in a row. And so that's why we see 3 to 8, and we see another ump coming out of NAF, and another save coming out of CLG.
And CLG, well, they have actually gotten quite a few good trade kills in this one, beating them, with the exception of the one really big upset round they had, actually having success here and winning the round outright is where they've had trouble. And Hayes, he's going to walk right into Mixwell there. He's going to take him down after he picked up that good first kill. And now he's just looking to try and clean up on some of these other players. That's initially to not go forward with this, but after throwing out the Molotov to prevent one of these CTs from pushing against him, he is going to move in here to slowly clean things out. Him along with his teammates shouldn't be too big of an issue, as you still have Ethan like fully committed to the B site too. And they know they've got Sabrosa stuck somewhere over here towards the entrance to Ivy. So Mixwell finally finishes off that target. And for Ethan, again, just on this Felico, there's not a whole lot to be found. OpTic continue to close out a lot of these anti-ecos with no trouble at all. And they will go up 9 to 3.
Yeah, and you know, at least I'm seeing improvement out of Sabrosa on train though. The first couple times we saw him on train, he didn't really perform that well, but he is playing pretty good now. So you want to take, you know, something away that's good for CLG, and that is something that I've been impressed with. His outside hold has actually been pretty stellar. I actually asked him on Steam just now, you know, what the difference is, and he said he got a good breakfast. He said he had some Soylent this morning, so it's really fueled him to have this, you know, good performance.
Is that when he has a Soylent during breakfast?
He actually told me he had his Wheaties, but he put Soylent as a replacement for the milk.
There you go. That's one way to do it.
Yeah, he said it's delicious.
It does taste like milk, so I can see that.
Yeah.
It's like...
I mean, I haven't tried it with Wheaties, but, you know, ask Sabrosa about it, guys. Ask him.
Tastes like soy milk.
Tweet him.
So,
tweet him.
I'll let you know.
CLG in a double save after going down 3 to 7. they have to double save blue, and that is depressing.
Yeah, and it's only going to lead them into really, I mean, assuming that OpTic just plow through the last couple of rounds here, it's only going to lead them into like one more gun round too. Since they'll just force bind the last round, and that's going to be at most like FAMASas and whatnot again. And I think a couple players will downgrade to 5-7s.
Well, you're assuming they lose the upcoming buy round.
Yeah.
They could win it clean, and then they could have another gun round.
They could.
But I mean, like this half, they've seriously. I mean, if we look back at this demo, Blue, how many times have they just been like utility, you know, ops? Like I think the 4th round, and that was probably it, where they had like everything they need to hold, you know, their spots versus OpTic. I mean, what, 1, maybe 2 rounds?
Yeah, at most. It's been scrap buys beyond that.
Yeah, I think just 1, to be honest. I don't know if they've even had 2 really full gun rounds yet. So just super depressing to have a double force nearing the end of the half. But Hayes getting a nice pistol kill onto Tariq, but the site is open. Cutler getting another kill, but this looks like OpTic should be able to clutch this around because Stan does have good positioning here, and he knows exactly where Ethan is. Continuing
to do the damage, though, so at the very least trying to keep these guys low for when they do finally, or if they are able to finally pick up a gun round here. But nicely done by Stan, grabbing Ethan out from within the smoke to punish him, and now it's just Cutler. It's all a matter of just getting him out into the open. They already knew where he was, so finally he just obliges, and there you have it. OpTic now in double digits as we go into the last 2 rounds of the half.
Yeah, so CLG able to get another full buy round here. So they have everything they need. They opt for another double op setup on Kusta and Cutler. Ethan having a rough one, though, 3 and 13. And consistently, he's been losing critical gun battles, like in 3v3s and things like that. So definitely not showing his potential here on this train match versus OpTic. But we see OpTic's taking it a bit slow, more of just a default, just trying to take like Brown Hall's control, pushing back Ivy, making sure nothing's pushed. And it looks like they might opt for a 3-1-1. Pretty standard on train. Rush jumps down here, and Subrose is going to get this kill.
Whoa! We had it perfectly lined up, but he hesitated for a minute there.
Thought he was going to get that kill.
Yeah. Kusta having some better luck out by Ivy. In fact, they're not trying to use any utility at all there. Finally, Naf catches the trade, but it's far too long gone there by that point. Evens it back out into a 3 versus 3. Hayes also trying to slowly creep up onto these players, pushing out from T-Con. It's just one of them, but still he's got good position if he checks up on top here in a minute. And also grouping up with more teammates here in a second too. There you go, there's Hayes. He catches Stanislaw pushing out, punishing him finally. And these final 2 from OpTic are going to have a little bit of trouble finding their own impact here. They're still actually going for the outer hit, too. They haven't changed the game plan. They're going to try to make this an inner hit instead. So Hayes already knows that Naf is pushing over here from this angle. Lines up, actually misses the opportunity here. Has to switch over to his pistols. He runs out of ammo, so Naf's going to grab that kill. And again, we're in another outer hit 2v2. For the first time in a while, though, it is heavily favored for CLG. Naf down at 24 HP and Rush at 9, so not looking too good. They managed to get Cutler out in the open here, but now they're favoring the plant, but even that is going to be hard to accomplish. Now, as there you go, Ethan just going to shut down both of the remaining players.
Yeah, Ethan getting those 2 kills, finally getting on the board and getting some critical frags. Kusta with 2 great kills here. Gets a little bit overly peaky on Naf, but Naf, he does hit a really nice shot. I like what Hayes did here, though, when he repositioned right now. They were tunnel visioning a little bit towards Ivy too much, but then he definitely should have had that kill at L. Super favored there, not able to get it on Naf. So Rosa was very favored in the ladder room as well to get that kill, but doesn't get it. So OpTic on another buy, though, 4-10, and CLG opts for an aggressive setup this time.
You can see here, they actually counter out the boost early on. Nicely found by Hayes. They spot the pickup there, and while they do try to trade it back down there, Mixwell finds nothing at all, and he loses Tariq, and Mixwell himself is down at like 10 HP. CLG actually finding a bit of a stride here at the end of their CT side, and looking good, so long as they don't mess up this inner take to try and actually pick up a 5th before the half does close out here. OpTic are all just going to group up. It looks like they're just going to go right for it here. They've got the utility to try to work towards it here, but obviously need to make the impact. Ethan throwing out his utility a little bit early here. OpTic still had a bit of time to waste, so now they're jumping out into it, of course, and they'll move in as the Molotov expires. Cutler able to catch these guys on the cross, too, and Ethan has the angle. This is going to be tough for them to get past it. Not even looking for Ethan initially. He is actually going to grab Cutler from the back, but Ethan grabs 2, so it's evenly traded. Kusta finding another one. It goes down to Rush, but he's already picked up 1 of 3 kills, too. Leaping forward, though, trading out his gun, and while he does pick up that kill into Kusta, Hayes will close things down, and that is going to end the half, guys. CLG battle back a little bit, but it's still an OpTic sided half, 10-5. Second half is coming up in just a little bit, folks, so stick around for more right here at the ESL Pro League.
He's going to get the one kill in that bomb. Coming onto the side. FNX has to stay up. Oh, he gets the triple FNX. Oh my god, what a way to win that round. They don't have a smoke, so this orb is still.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Soylent, Xfinity, Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, The Score Esports, Mountain Dew, and ESEA.
So the first half closes out there in favor of OpTic once again. I think it's actually the same score that we had back on the first map, 10-5 in these guys' favor. Now they're going to jump onto the CT side too, where we can see Mixwell come in to full power with his op and whatnot. He tends to avoid it a bit more there on the T side. But we are getting into it here in Days. You know, your thoughts now going into that second half.
Well, you know, the first time on Overpass, yeah, we might have had the same score line, but then CLG was on the CT side of Overpass coming into the second half, which is generally favored. Now they're going to the T side against a very, very strong train team in OpTic, and that's tough, man. That's tough. You know, we thought they had a glimmer of hope coming into CT side of Overpass, but going on to T side on train, I think that glimmer of hope is a little bit smaller, maybe like a
Twinkle.
Yeah, a twinkle. That was the word I was looking for. A twinkle of hope.
So we'll see if OpTic will have really any, if they'll let CLG, I should say, have any chance of rounding this comeback at all. They'll start with the pistol round, and on the opening bits of it here too, they're going to send Ethan back over here towards Ivy early on here. Not going to be catching anything, but may meet himself with some resistance. Whereas in the same time, OpTic aren't expecting an outer hit right now, so leaving a lot of that defense just on Stanislaw here as they move in. He's already spotted too, though, so we can call for reinforcements. They are shuffling in very quickly. Mixwell and Tarek on the way to support this one. Out in the open, though, however, so Cutler's going to grab that first kill against Stan. Mixwell trades, brings into another one here for the CT side, and not only that, but Tarek a little bit further out here. He's going to pick one up. Cutler with a nice peek, though. Grabs Rush out of the air, taking him down. Nap in a close-up battle. He's with the assistance of Mixwell. He's going to win that one, and Tarek now an upper here, too. Slowly limiting the options for CLG. It's all down to Ethan, and OpTic will win it out again. They take control of the pistol, and they deny the first-round plant. Yeah,
a quick rotate by OpTic. 0 smokes down anywhere for CLG. So even though they got that entry onto Stan when they were trying to push up, they had a guy already at CT Cloud area, and they had a guy coming out of Z, and they were able to take the fights before they really could get pushed up and in good positions to trade with their teammates. So pretty easy round for OpTic there, even though Stan died there. Getting in the back already while they try to push up with no smokes down is pretty easy kills.
Second round for OpTic here on their CT side, and they're already looking to sort of crunch in what CLG are doing. All 5 of their players have moved in just outside of the entrance here to the box halls leading up to B. But waiting on the other end there at the bottom of the ramp, they've got Stan up in the mountain. And a moment ago, they had Tarek, who pushed slightly into the ladder room, but he's since given that up. That doesn't mean, however, he can't reapply that pressure. And Stan again, just jiggle wide peeking out over here towards the ramp. He spots the push, spots 2 of those players moving in. So he knows the hit's going to be on the way. He's got the support here if needed. Mixwell a little bit further back, watching for an upper hit. And then as well, if he needs to call for those reinforcements, they're probably standing at the ready, as they already have some very aggressive positions out on the A site to begin with here too. So they're going to move in. Flashbangs don't really affect anything. However, Mixwell doesn't peek. He just leaves Stanislaw to take this duel. Now it's Mixwell's time to go against this. So, however, he can't seem to find his target. They're both only going to pick up one. It's essentially just a 2-for-2 trade. Nap moving back in there, though. He's going to impact on another target, leaving it to only 2 this time for CLG. And now trying to shut out some of the remainders here. Kusta picking up one more for the T side. Back down to just 1 here now for the CLG roster. It is on Kusta, and he's going to try to push forward here, looking for that last pickup against Rush, but he cannot find it. We'll see OpTic close out again. Heavy damage done, though, by CLG on this second run, and they find the plant.
Yeah, scary round there for OpTic. They actually had 2 SMGs, I believe, at the site. Not really set up for an upper hit very well. They probably weren't expecting that. You know, both guys being close there. Mixwell, it was unfortunate because there was a smoke that they threw from upper that I think they wanted to plant in, and it kind of screwed Mixwell up because he was a little bit scared to peek to his left, opts to push towards his right, and doesn't get too many frags out of it. So CLG gets a good plant there, almost wins the round, but now it's 12-5 and they're on a save. Should be put to 13-5 here, and OpTic getting aggressive on the outside yard. as CLG comes out of the ladder straight into a Molotov. Perfectly played by OpTic.
Yeah, and Tarek is just going to cash in the bonuses from that one there as he picks up 2 kills. Fortunately, the guys from CLG don't get anywhere at all, and we even see Stan getting in the back of them there to pick up some of his, well, he doesn't actually get any kills, but at least does some damage in that round, as CLG unfortunately aren't able to do much in these first 3. OpTic already get the huge lead going, and unless there's an immediate turnaround from CLG here on the first gun round, this game may already be over in OpTic's favor.
Yeah, very difficult for CLG to come back from this type of a deficit right now. We see OpTic played that round so well, and now they, you know, we'll see if they go aggro or what they do, and now CLG opts to play this. Looks like they're going a bit slow as Stan rushes towards the inner, gets caught by Ethan, but trade kill coming out from upper there by Mixwell, and now Rush at the E-box has a really good positioning. He's going to be able to keep ladder smoked, and all 3 coming towards T-side. If he plays this E-box properly, he's going to multi-frag.
Tarek's going to pick up 2 there. Rush does
set up Tarek.
Yeah, basically what happens there is Rush kind of gets wrecked, but Tarek capitalizes on it. It's all on Kusta, and he can't even get himself outside of T-Con where the bomb is placed. Molly out of position for the second time, and Naf is going to move in to shut it down. OpTic not even really struggling at all to take control of that gun round there. It just seemed like a textbook closeout from them, and they're now sitting at 14-5.
And that was very forced. It was very forced by CLG. You know, 3 guys in team mid all trying to come out. Especially when ladder smoke like that, it's so difficult, man. Like that's never gonna work against good players. If you just have 3 guys jumping out of team mid, you have ladder already smoked off and they don't have to worry about it, and you haven't killed anybody at outside, so that you know there's gonna be 2 players watching it, you know, because they also have box all control. Your chances of success are just so low. Now we see they do a smoke execute towards outer, but OpTic will probably just pop Molotovs right when they see these smokes.
They're going to move up here to try and push themselves out onto the A bomb site. Stanislaw hugging the close train here too. Just waiting for it at the moment. Rush is handling it. Mixwell on the flank here. Picks up 1. Struggle to get the second, so Sabrosa is going to punish, but Molotov's utility setups don't let them get anywhere at all. It's easy cleanups here for OpTic as they're already at 15 rounds as we get into the 6th round of the second half.
Yeah, and it's just so easy to hold like that when you get a flank like that from Mixwell and he's inside the ladder. But also if you just have full utility like that and you just see the smokes and you just pop your utility, like you throw your Molotov, oh, they can't come for 10 seconds. By the time they actually do anything, their smoke's probably going to dissipate. It's just, it makes the hold very, very easy. And now we just see very, very poor buy by them. Just Galil's AK armors, so no utility. They just got to straight peek things and get punished immediately by Tarek and Z.
So CLG at the end of their rope here now as they try to somehow forge their way back in. We even got an auto sniper coming in from Mixwell too. I'm interested to see how that plays off. But we did see 1 pickup coming in there from the side of CLG as Ethan, I believe, grabs that kill against Stan, catching him over-exerting himself. But there's Rush with another pickup. Mixwell decides to actually just fall back and give up his more aggressive pursuit there in the B hull so as not to take any additional risks here. They've got control. They might as well just try and end it here too. And Naf waiting. I think he spotted Sabrosa pushing his way out there. It's just a matter of actually taking him down. The flashbang deconvinces Sabrosa of actually wanting to push outside of there. They're still trying to force their way out, but Naf is doing such a good job of just waiting this pressure. There you have it. 3 fast kills, and OpTic Gaming are going to dominate here on Train, taking control of this set, going 2-0 for the evening and doing a good work of trying to keep OpTic in the top 6 to make it to the LAN at the end of the season.
Yeah, impressive performance by OpTic. I mean, in complete control, both maps. Clearly the better team, clearly the better players, and it really wasn't even that close. Yeah,
and CLG is still struggling down at the bottom of the ratings at this point. I think they're like bottom 3 still, so I want to make sure they're not overtaken by some of these other teams to make sure they actually keep that Pro League spot, as that's getting a bit dangerous too if they continue to falter here and not be able to pick up really any wins as we get towards the closing portion of the season. But we have the analysts waiting for us, guys, so go ahead and break down what exactly went on here in the final game of the night.
Yeah, OpTic just riding the momentum from the previous game from ESL 1, and Blue's right. I mean, they're sitting at that bottom 3. I'm not sure if they're at 3 or 4 losses, but with Splice's performance today going up against E United, I know that they're sitting at 3 wins, which may be a tie now for the second to last place here in the Pro League.
Yeah, I don't remember what the win count was for CLG. I think with E United at the bottom, they play Complexity for their last 2 maps of the season. They need to win both to not be that last place, but the team above it and the team above that in the past have had to play relegation matches. Not sure what the system is this season. I think we're still waiting to hear what that will be. But yeah, if you're CLG, you got to be a little bit worrisome. 6 is the number of wins that they have. Thanks, Blue. So they've got a little bit of a cushion over. I think Splice has a handful of matches left. They're definitely going to stay above United. But yeah, I mean, and then on the other side for OpTic, they've been playing very well the past couple of weeks. We've talked about it all night. Continued that. They really just kind of took care of business tonight, and I think they're pretty secure in the top 6. Now it'll be a little bit more for seeding than I think for a playoff spot.
Well, let's talk about their T side again. It was a fantastic T side for OpTic. They did so in the previous map, and then in round 7, I mean, this was a fantastic auto take for them.
Yeah, and they do such a great job on this map on both sides. This is just kind of like very, very clean outer hit. They end up against both ops, which means that because there's a double op setup, a heavy execute, a lot of smokes or something quick, if the ops don't punish that early and they don't get those early picks, having to play just 2 ops in a retake situation is pretty easy. They do a really good job of they have really like, I don't know if it's lucky or just intuitive timing on the side of OpTic. We saw there, like, the second somebody pulls out a smoke or flashbang, it's like they're getting peaked. They did it all night. They do it very, very well. I think a little bit of it is just kind of like CSGO luck, CSGO timing, but they did it on both maps tonight, and they've done it kind of like historically. Even like the older OpTic rosters, it was if you ever like fail the fundamentals, right? Like if you pull out a flashbang in the open, you get killed and punished for it, and they've just continued to do it with this new 5. Yeah,
and then another thing that CLG needed to do, which they didn't, obviously winning the pistol rounds. I know it's very cliche to say, but that's something that they weren't able to do in the second round. OpTic was able to just continue to build on their lead that they had. I think it was 10-5 at the half, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, they shut this down pretty quick. There's just so much individual talent when you've got range with the USP against Glocks, and you've got guys that do just a really good job of hitting, you know, long-range headshots that they make it look so easy at so many times, and yeah, they just kind of mopped that one up, and then that was pretty much it. At that point, it was, you could tell, like, I think even Mixwell was kind of like jumping around a little bit. They seemed to loosen up. They kind of knew that, like, all right, we're going to kind of coast to a win here. We're not going to take our foot off the pedal, but maybe we have a little bit of fun, and that's what it looked like in the second half.
All right, well, that's going to conclude day number 24. So let's take a look at the results that everyone had today. A very interesting series of matches as well. Not as much as we would like in typical days, but United, they fall to Splice twice. It was nice. Train and Mirage. And then we did see OpTic Gaming going up against CLG 16-9 and then 16-5. And then tomorrow's matches, we will have, ooh, that's going to be good. Team Liquid taking on Immortals, and then we have Renegades taking on CLG. So CLG, again, they're going to try to play a little spoiler here since they do have 6 wins. We're a little bit wrong there. Sorry about that. I thought they had a little bit less. Must have won some off the stream or something like that. But, you know, they have a chance to possibly take down Renegades. I mean, if they play like they did today against OpTic, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Renegades, you keep talking about how you feel like this is going to team on the up-and-coming still throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think right now they're 7th. I feel like they're a team that's going to get in 6th, and they're going to bump somebody down. And then we get to see Liquid. We haven't seen Liquid play online in a very long time. They had a really good performance out at ESL 1, where there seemed to be a better LAN team than an online team, and they're going up against Immortals. Both teams, 3 of the 4 teams tomorrow are in that top 8. And they all basically need to win to have a chance at the top 6 to be in Brazil. The only exception is CLG.
Yeah, CLG's sticking out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, so they're trying to avoid relegation because we're not entirely sure what that's going to look like, if it's the bottom 3 teams or what that'll be. And they have a chance to play spoiler. So, you know, it's not a bad thing. And then there's also the consideration of prize money. The higher up you are in the standings, you know, a little bit more money in the bank. That's true. Well, guys, that's a wrap for us here at the ESL Studios on day number 24. On behalf of everyone at ESL, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 4:45 p.m. Pacific time. Yes, golden Kappa time. Please. Get it going in the chat, guys.